All right, let's talk about something that can feel, well, just awful. We're going to tackle what to do when you're staring down a bill you just can't pay. The goal here is to take that stress and turn it into a clear, step-by-step plan you can actually use. You know that feeling, right? An envelope shows up, an email pings, and the number you see just makes your heart sink. It's that moment of pure anxiety when what you owe and what you have, they just don't match up. And that anxiety doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from real life. Just take this quote. Somebody's dog got sick, and every penny went to saving her. It's a perfect reminder of how life can just throw a wrench in our best-laid financial plans. So let's start right there with that one bill that's causing all this stress. I know it's tempting to just ignore it, but facing it head on, that's how you start to take back control. Look, the most important thing for you to hear right now is that you are not the only one going through this, not by a long shot. Life happens. This is not some kind of personal failure. It's an incredibly common problem. And the good news is there's a way through it. So let's walk that path together. Okay, so how do we shift from that feeling of panic to making actual progress? Well, it all starts with having a solid plan. Honestly, the best tool in your entire toolbox is a formal payment arrangement. It's like taking this giant, scary mountain of a bill and turning it into a series of small, walkable hills. It gives everyone, you and the creditor, a clear, predictable roadmap to follow. A lot of times, this takes the form of an EMI, or equated monthly installment. It's just a fancy term for a fixed payment you make every single month. And each payment has two parts: the principal, which is the actual money you owe, and the interest, which is basically the fee you pay for the convenience of paying it off over time. Okay, let's really get into this, because when you set up a plan, you have a really important choice to make. You can go for a shorter repayment time. Your monthly payments will be higher, sure, but you'll pay way less in total interest and get out of debt faster. Or you can go for a longer plan. The monthly payments are lower and much easier to manage, but you'll end up paying more in interest in the long run. It's all about finding that sweet spot for your budget. So a formal plan means a formal piece of paper. And yeah, it can look a little intimidating, but let's break it down, kind of peek under the hood of a good payment agreement so you know what you're looking at. Think of this as your must-have checklist. Any good agreement has to spell out exactly who's involved, the total amount owed down to the penny, and a super detailed schedule of payments. It also needs to be clear about any interest and, this is crucial, what happens if you're late or if you just can't pay anymore. And you got to keep an eye out for specific terms like this one, the acceleration clause. This one is a biggie. What it means is if you default, like you miss a bunch of payments, the creditor can legally demand that you pay the entire rest of the loan back. Immediately, all at once. It's a really serious consequence, so you need to know it's in there. But what if you don't set up an agreement, or you fall behind on one? That's when things can escalate. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. It's about preparing you for what could happen next. See, when payments get missed, the whole process gets more official, but it's not some random, chaotic thing. There's a predictable, legal path that creditors have to follow. And just knowing what those steps are can take away so much of that fear of the unknown. Let's look at how this works in the real world. The Netherlands actually has a super clear step-by-step process. It starts with a formal notice, the aanmaning. If you don't respond, it can go to a collections agency, an incassobureau, and they'll add their own costs. Still no payment? The creditor might go to court to get a judgment, a vonnis. And that leads to the final step, a bailiff or dewarveter coming to enforce it. And that last step, that's where it gets really serious. A bailiff, with that court order in hand, can legally take money right out of your paycheck. That's called wage garnishment or loonbeslag. They can even seize your stuff to pay off the debt. This is why acting early is just so important. Okay, I know that sounds pretty heavy, but this system isn't just about punishment. It's also built to protect you. And this next part, this is the most empowering part of all, knowing your rights. It's really designed to be a balanced system. You absolutely have rights, the right to a clear notice, the right to have collection fees regulated by law, and you always have the right to propose a payment plan. But it's a two-way street. You also have duties. You have to respond to those notices, and when you're making a plan, you have to be honest about your financial situation. So, we get the problem, we've got the solution, we know the risks, and we know our rights. Now, let's put all of that together. What do you actually do? The second you realize you can't make a payment, what is the very first thing you should do? Number one, act fast. Don't wait, don't put it off. The sooner you call them, the more options you'll have. Second, get your stuff together. Have the bill in front of you with all the account numbers and details so you can have a productive conversation. And third, just make the request. Call them, fill out their online form, whatever they need you to do, just reach out. Now, a request isn't a guarantee. Sometimes they get rejected, and that usually happens for a few common reasons. Maybe you didn't give them enough information, or worse, you gave them false info. Or maybe they see you have a bunch of money in savings. Sometimes the problem is just too big for a simple payment plan to fix. The key is to be upfront and realistic from the very beginning. When it's all said and done, getting the right agreement in place is about so much more than just the money. It's about turning a crisis into a manageable plan. It protects trust, it keeps a financial problem from blowing up relationships and your reputation. It really is about handling a tough spot with integrity and getting your peace of mind back.